Good morning everybody, and it's another video from Tall Travels. Today I'm in Kaliningrad and I'm leaving the country and I'm going to Gdansk in Poland, where I'm going to travel on to Serbia. So I'm going back to Serbia for a while. Now, as many of you will know, Kaliningrad is a Russian enclave on the Baltic Sea. It's sandwiched in between Lithuania, Latvia and Poland. Had to think about it there. So it's that little piece of land that you see on the map and you've always wondered, you're always curious about it. So there's an option. I could have taken a bus from Kaliningrad to Gdansk. It's not very far, it's only a couple of hours, but they were charging like 40 euros or something like that, so it's too expensive. So I'm here at Yuzhny train station, one of the train stations in Kaliningrad, not the train station in Kaliningrad, the main one. But so I'm going to take a train to Mamonovo, and it's a little place right on the border with Poland. It's going to cost me 100 rubles, so I'm already saving quite a lot of money there. Then once I get to the border, I'm going to walk across, and then when I get to the Polish side, I'm going to find some transport to go to Gdansk. Now I've got no idea what kind of transport I can get, because on the other side it's basically there's nothing there, there's no town or village or something like that. So, but I've done this kind of thing many times and I've always managed to find somebody going to the place I want to go to, or a shared taxi or minibus or something like that. So I'm sorry that I haven't made a video while I've been in Kaliningrad. I'm sure many of you will be curious about this place, but I really didn't have time. I've been having some sleeping problems. I'm very tired, but it's definitely somewhere I will come back in the future. My impressions of Kaliningrad in the short time that I've been here is it's pretty nice. You know, there's a lot. It's a very green city. There's lots of parks here. And you've got some nice buildings. I mean, it's totally flattened during World War II, so everything's been rebuilt here. Almost nothing survived the bombings. So you've got a lot of buildings that were rebuilt, and then you've got obviously communist buildings. So it's a real kind of mishmash of different architecture. So I'm hoping everything goes smoothly when I get to the border. I don't think I'm going to have any problems. The only problem I can think of maybe is that this Mamonovo border is a traffic-only border, because sometimes, you know, you can only travel by car or lorry or bus or something like that. They don't allow pedestrians. But I think this one's okay. I've done a little bit of research, and I've done no research at all about Poland in terms of PCR tests and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure they don't need them now, but I'm going to check on my phone just in case now. Oh, one other thing to mention, I booked my train ticket on the Russian Railways website. It's pretty easy to use. It's got an English option, although it doesn't completely translate in English. And you just have to put in your personal details there, but you have to upload a copy of your passport as well. Okay everybody, so here I am at the platform in Yuzhny train station, going to Mamonovo, and I think it's going to be the Babushka Express. There's a lot of babushkas and dedushkas here. I think they're smuggling pelmeni into Poland. Looks like I'm going to be the youngest person on the Babushka Express, yes. Added up the ages of all these babushkas and dedushkas on the train, you could go back to the time of the dinosaurs, I think. They seem to be carrying a fair amount of luggage with them, and they seem to know each other as well, so I think this is a regular smuggling trip that they make, maybe every day.
Doors are closing. The next station is Kiyevskaya.
Уважаемые пассажиры, железная дорога, зона повышенной опасности.
Now I'm hoping that this train goes along the coast towards Poland so we can have a nice view. These babushkas are making a real racket on this train. Bloody hell, everybody.
Caution, the doors are closing. The next station is Svetla.
Уважаемые пассажиры, убедительная просьба соблюдать чистоту и порядок. Категорически запрещается курить в вагонах, тамбурах, переходах между вагонами. Перевозить только воспламеняющиеся жидкости, взрывчатые и отравляющие.
The next station is 1307 kilometers.
Уважаемые
107
пассажиры, в
kilometers.
ряде регионов России совершены.
Okay, everybody, so I think the name of the station is 1,307 kilometers. Maybe they name every station in Kaliningrad based on how far, how many kilometers in the network it is. Imagine just calling a train station by a number, it's very communist. Okay, everybody, there could be a slight problem. It looks like the train is going to Mamonovo, but there's two Mamonovos. And the one that I thought the train is going to is called Mamonovo 2, and this is just called Mamonovo. So this Mamonovo is actually further away from the border than the other Mamonovo. The other Mamonovo was right next to the border, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to walk with all my baggage. But you know, guys, it could be a lot worse. I could be stuck in this town. So everybody, I thought all those babushkas and dedushkas that you saw were smugglers. They were smuggling stuff into Poland, but I suppose it's not easy for them to get a visa now. So I think they were just food shopping in Kaliningrad, and they actually live in the villages, so they're just going home. To be honest, I'm glad that all these babushkas got off the train, because I was feeling objectified. They were undressing me with their eyes. It's toxic femininity at its worst. It'd be nice to live in the village and have some dogs to greet you when you get off the train. Okay, everybody, so it looks like I'm the last person on this train, or at least in this carriage. So yeah, I'm not sure how things are gonna go when I get to Mamonovo, but maybe my best option is to find a taxi driver and get him to take me to the border. But the problem with that is I've only got 400 Russian rubles left, and not in cash. That's on my card, and I'm pretty sure Yandex doesn't work out here in the States. Wow, there's lots of abandoned old houses over there. I tell you what, everybody, this journey so far has got all the hallmarks of another Tour Travels travel disaster. I tell you what, everybody, Mamonovo looks like a pretty little town. Nice lake there, beautiful houses. I don't know if I'm supposed to get off here or not. well, Mamonovo is the last stop. So, oh, there's people getting off. I don't know if this is Mamonovo. Everything's gone quiet, everybody. How do I get off this bloody train? Извини, это Mamonovo? There we go, everybody, Mamonovo. What the hell am I doing here? Bloody hell, guys, I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. Shit! Alright, okay, here we have Mamonovo, or whatever the hell it's called. It looks quite big, so maybe I'm on the edge of town or something. Just gonna see if they got a cash machine in here. I doubt it. Nope, there's absolutely nothing in here. Alright, I'm going to take this path, everybody, and I'm hoping I'm not going to be mugged by inbreds. Now, everybody, even though there's a lot of faffing around doing this to get into Poland, if I had taken a direct bus, there's been reports of delays on the border, so I could have been waiting 2 or 3 hours or something. Okay, everybody, so Mamonovo looks pretty nice. There's some big old building here. There's a statue of some lady in the park over there. And here there's a bank. Now, I got 400 rubles left in my bank. You can't use international cards in Russia at the moment. So I think to be on the safe side, I'm going to try and withdraw that in cash. Okay, I thought I had 400 rubles in my bank, but I actually have 261 rubles. Oops. Right, everybody, I just went into this bank here to exchange some euros into rubles, and they said the exchange woman won't be back for another half hour. Bloody village. Okay, everybody, so it looks like I'm at a war memorial here in Mamonovo. I'm never going to be able to say the name of this place correctly. Mamonovo. Anyway, instead of waiting around for half an hour like a lemon outside the bank for the exchange office woman to come back, I think I'm going to find a taxi driver and just offer him euros instead. I'm also going to try and find a coffee. Got a bit of a tickly throat this morning. I was hanging around with somebody sick yesterday. I don't mean bold and bankrupt, I mean somebody that was really sick. Wow, look at that, everybody. Some nice old building there. Looks like a water tower or something. No doubt from German times. Wow, I'm really liking Mamonovo so far. Lovely little town. Shame I can't pronounce the name properly. There we go. I love Mamonovo. One of those flags is maybe the Mamonovo flag. Right, everybody, I'm going to spend the last 200 and something rubles in my bank account on a coffee behind me. Okay, everybody, so let me tell you what happened after I ordered that coffee in the park. So I sat down on one of the park benches there, and as soon as I sat down I put my coffee on the bench, and then it wasn't flat and it fell over and it spilled coffee everywhere. So then this military guy came along, and I knew what was going to happen when he arrived. So as soon as I saw him, he was coming towards me, I pulled out my passport to give it to him. So anyway, he started asking me the usual questions. Where are you from? Where are you going? Where did you come from? Where have you been to Russia and all this stuff? So Yeah, I told him the truth, where I'd been, of course, that I went to St. Petersburg, then I went to Samara, and then from Samara I went to Kaliningrad, then Kaliningrad I came to Mamonovo to cross the border. Now I want to let you know from the start that this military guy was very friendly. He was from Dagestan. And everybody I've met from Dagestan so far has been like really friendly and nice. So hopefully one day I'm going to get there and check it out for myself. He's probably less than 5 foot tall. But as soon as I mentioned I was from Serbia, he said, wow, Serbia, very good football team. And I told him, yep, Serbia are going to win the World Cup. So everybody, this guy was just going through protocol. I mean, it's normal when you have these times with what's happening in Ukraine for there to be some tension at the borders and security. So, you know, I was at the Kaliningrad enclave. I was right next to the border, and probably pretty unusual for foreigners to be trying to cross at that border. So guys, I was feeling incredibly relaxed and calm throughout this whole thing because I know that I haven't done anything or said anything stupid, unlike some other idiotic English YouTubers. So he did ask me why I went to Samara, and I had to think about it, you know, because it must have seemed a strange place for a tourist to go, but I did have one friend there, and that's what I told him. But it felt like that Skripal situation you remember in the UK with those 2 alleged Russian spies. And I remember an interview with them, and the interviewer asked these spies why they came to Salisbury, because it's not usual to have Russian people in Salisbury. And they said something like, we came to see the beautiful Salisbury Cathedral. So it felt like that situation.
Друзья нам давно уже советовали посетить этот прекрасный город.
Солсбери.
Да.
Прекрасный город.
Да.
Он это
чем он
туристический
прекрасен?
город.
Вы поехали в Солсбери посмотреть на часы.
Да нет, но с самого начала мы планировали приехать в Лондон и оторваться, грубо говоря.
Okay guys, so what happened next? This questioning lasted about an hour in the park. He was asking me some other questions I can't really remember, and also he was making some phone calls to see if I'd check out. I explained that I was trying to get to the Polish border, and he told me, okay, I'm gonna arrange for a taxi to take you to the border. I thought, okay, that's nice. So anyway, after all this questioning, I get into the taxi, and it's a really old school taxi. I think it was one of these, you know, 30-year-old Mercedes or something like that. So anyway, I say goodbye to him, and we drive off towards the Polish border. So anyway, I'm thinking everything's good. I'm on my way to the Polish border. Everything's going to be fine there. And then, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes into the journey or something like that, the driver gets a phone call. And oh god, it was like something out of a James Bond film, you know, where he thinks he's going somewhere but he's been taken somewhere else. So yeah, he gets the phone call, the driver, and I know straight away it's a military guy. And I didn't understand what the driver was saying, but the taxi driver turned around and he went back to Mamonovo. My first thought when the taxi turned around and went back to Mamonovo was, oh my god, they found out I used to be associated with Bold and Brainless. So I thought I was guilty by association somehow, and they had some extra questioning for me. Anyway, so I get back to Mamonovo in the taxi, and my Dagestani friend is there waiting, and he says he's contacted the border, and you're not allowed to cross at the moment, it's closed. And I told him, is that for foot traffic, cars and buses? And he said yes, closed to everything. Now I'm not 100% sure I understood him, and it was closed to all traffic, but that's the way I understood it. Now it could have been true that it was completely closed on that day, because I was looking at buses on that day and there was nothing available, but there were buses available in the following days. So before I set off for this journey, I wasn't 100% sure I'd be able to cross the border, but the border was only an hour by train away from Kaliningrad, so I thought I'd just take the risk, because I was doing some research on the internet and there's nothing conclusive. It was all a bit kind of mixed information. So I thought, bloody hell, what am I going to do now if I can't cross into Poland and get out of here? So he told me your only other option is to try the other border with Lithuania. So he explained to me that I have to take a bus from Mamonovo back to Kaliningrad, and then another bus from there to Sovietsk, which is a border town with Lithuania. So anyway, I come back out of the restaurant and I'm looking for him, and he's in the car park speaking to somebody in a car. So I go over to him and he says, "Oh, get in the car." And I'm thinking, oh, that's nice, he's ordered me a taxi back to Kaliningrad. So anyway, I get into this car, and when I get in, I realize it's FSB, that's the Russian security forces. So yeah, all three of us had our mobile phones out and we're using Google Translate to communicate. So yeah, he told me I have to take a bus to Kaliningrad, and then when I'm at Kaliningrad bus station, take another bus to Sovietsk. So he told me that when I get to Kaliningrad bus station, I have to call him to tell him I'm there. And when I arrive in Sovietsk, I also have to call him again and tell him I'm there too. Now, I'm not sure what happened in the park there, why that military guy approached me. It could have been just a random patrol, and he saw me with all my baggage and thought, okay, this guy might be a foreigner going to the border or something like that. Or it could have been that babushka on the train. So you saw that babushka, she was like eyeballing me, and then I caught her trying to take pictures of me. Anyway, so I get on this bus to Kaliningrad and I say my goodbyes to the Dagestani guy. And when I get on the bus and I buy a ticket from the conductor, she told me that I'd been told to keep an eye on you and make sure when you get to Kaliningrad you go in the bus station to get a ticket. So yeah, it was a very pretty bus journey from Mamonovo to back to Kaliningrad. Lovely countryside, beautiful little houses and whatnot. And I eventually arrived back to Kaliningrad bus station, and when I got off the bus I saw her watching me as I went in there to buy my ticket to Sovietsk. I did as I was told when I arrived at Kaliningrad bus station. I gave that guy a call in Mamonovo and got on the bus to Sovietsk. Now, yeah, when I arrived in Sovietsk, I thought, wow, this is a really interesting city. It's kind of looked like some old German architecture mixed with Soviet architecture, and there was a lot of like military people around, and I saw a very nice aircraft museum when I was coming into the city. Now, when I got to about the second or the third last stop, I saw a Russian military guy get on the bus, and he had one of those classic like Russian military hats. And I saw him look down the bus and he kind of made eye contact with me. Then I realized straight away that this guy's going to be talking to me. So yeah, I arrived at Sovietsk bus station, I get off the bus, and lo and behold, he comes up to me, holds out his ID, and it's like blah, blah, blah. So this military guy didn't speak a lick of English either. But remember, I had to call the other guy from Mamonovo to let him know I was there. So basically, I just told him, look, I'm just going to call the other guy in Mamonovo and then I can pass the phone over to you. So that's exactly what I did. And everything checked out. And then he said, right, I'm going to organize a taxi for us and I'm going to go with you to the Lithuanian border. Anyway, guys, so we get into this knackered old taxi and we go to the Lithuanian border and we're driving through Sovietsk, and I thought to myself, this is a really interesting city and I'd like to do some filming here. But when I saw these military guys walking around, I thought this is not the kind of city you want to be walking around with a camera in. I did a bit of research about Sovietsk afterwards, and I found out that Sovietsk used to be a closed city, so tourists weren't allowed there back in Soviet times, so that probably explains why the city is a bit shrouded in mystery. So we get to Lithuanian border. On the Russian side it's perfectly okay, like checking out the country, but when I got to the Lithuanian side, they're asking me all these questions for maybe 30 minutes or something like that. And I understand that, you know, these are exceptional times we're living in at the moment in Eastern Europe, so there's a lot of caution, suspicion, paranoia and whatnot. Yeah, so I managed to get through immigration at last, and I walked over this beautiful bridge that goes across the river into Lithuania, and I did a bit of research on this bridge, and it's quite important in history because Adolf Hitler stood on the very same bridge during World War II. So yeah, I get to the Lithuanian side and I realise there's no transport going anywhere. It wasn't even a village on the other side of the bridge, it's just a collection of dwellings, let's say, but there was one motel. So I stayed in this motel for one night, but the next morning I was so tired from all my travel, I missed the only bus going to another village, which had buses going to Kaunas and Vilnius. So I just thought, sod it. The walk to this bus stop is going to take me about an hour. So I was pulling all my suitcases down the main road to this next village to get a bus. And oh my God, I got to this village and first of all I was waiting for a bus to get to Vilnius and it doesn't arrive. And next I thought, okay, maybe the bus to Kaunas will arrive, and that was a couple of hours later, so I had to wait another couple of hours, and that didn't arrive. Then I realised no buses were coming at all. I didn't know what was happening. It wasn't a bank holiday, it wasn't a Sunday or anything like that, and the times were clearly written on the bus stop. Anyway, I was getting pretty distraught, you know. I was at a low point. I just really had enough. I wanted to get the hell out of there. So I went to the other side of the road and I thought, okay, if these buses aren't arriving, I'm going to take a bus in the opposite direction to the seaside city of Klaipėda in Lithuania. I'll just go there. And that bus didn't turn up either. So it was like 5 hours I spent waiting for the buses. I kid you not. I had nothing else to do. There was one like cafe that was there and I couldn't drink any more coffee. I couldn't sit there for hours. And eventually the woman in the cafe, she said to me, okay, go back to that first bus stop. There'll be a bus coming soon for Vilnius. And I thought, I wasn't like confident about this. I thought, okay, I'll go there, but you know, 3 buses haven't come already, so I'm not very hopeful. Anyway, I was expecting to wait for an hour or something for this bus that was supposed to be coming, but within about 15 minutes, this other bus appeared out of nowhere. It was an Ecolines bus, and oh my God, as soon as I saw that bus, it was like, I thought it was a mirage, you know. I'd just been praying for buses for the last 5 hours. So yeah, it was a very luxury bus, in fact, and yeah, it took me to Kaunas, which was the nearest big city, so I spent a night in Kaunas. Very interesting place, I have to say. Maybe I would go back someday. So then I took another bus from Kaunas to Białystok. I spent a night in Białystok in the east of Poland, and then I took a train to the south of Poland, and I spent a few days with a friend of mine there in the south of Poland, and I was just so happy to relax because all that traveling really, it just, oh, you can't believe how distressing it was. I was feeling pretty distraught. So yeah, after Białystok, I took a train to the south of Poland near Krakow, and I spent some time with a friend of mine. And I was so happy just to chill out for a few days because all that traveling, it really kind of destroyed me, both physically and mentally. So it took me a few days to recover. So guys, that was another mini Tool Travels disaster. Yeah, so I decided to leave Russia because I was feeling a bit uneasy there towards the end. I didn't know what the future was going to hold. I was keeping an eye on the situation between Russia and Ukraine, and I didn't want to be in a situation where I was stuck in Russia and I couldn't leave the country because, you know, they might call martial law or something like that and seal off the borders. So everybody, like I said, I'm going to be staying in Serbia for a while. I'm going to knock out some videos from here. I'm also planning to make some mini trips probably to countries like Hungary, Romania, Croatia and some other bordering countries, but I also want to make a lot more videos from home. Now I'm not 100% sure about these videos yet, but I think almost certainly I'm going to start making digital nomad type videos. So if you didn't know, then I've been a digital nomad or location independent, whatever you want to call it, for the last 15 years. So I've lived in a lot of different countries. I've had a lot of crazy experiences, and I've got a lot of good information I can share with other digital nomads, I think.